I sure don't feel like I'm the one to do this. But man, wouldn't hurt so much if you didn't love so much, you know. Darrell Wayne Lamb Jr., age 46, passed away Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. At Rockcastle Regional Medical Center in Mount Vernon, Kentucky. Wayne was born September 29, 1974 in Richmond, Kentucky, to Darrell Wayne Lamb Sr. of Broadhead, Kentucky, and Creasy May Sailor Lamb of Mount Vernon, Kentucky. Wayne was an avid outdoorsman. He enjoyed fishing, hunting, and loved to tinker and fix anything. Everyone called him Mr. Fix-It. Wayne was of the holiness faith. Other than his parents, Wayne is survived by his wife, Brandy Lamb of Mount Vernon, Kentucky, 5 children: Amber Lamb of Mount Vernon, Kentucky, Austin Lamb of Mount Vernon, Kentucky, Justin Lamb of Broadhead, Kentucky, Emily Lamb of Mount Vernon, Kentucky, Andrew Lamb of Mount Vernon, Kentucky, 3 brothers: Johnny Lamb and his wife Kim of Rose Hill, Virginia, Joshua Lamb and his wife Candy of Mount Vernon, Kentucky, Daniel Lamb and his wife Kimberly of London, Kentucky, 6 grandchildren, and a host of aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and cousins. Just thinking about today, you know, what to say. Ain't never anything. There's even the things that are right to say, just ain't good to say. You know, it's just not gonna be everything that you need. And I understand that. So I do pray for the family and the friends. We all love Wayne very much. I wanted to share a couple things. Well, yeah. Y'all forgive me. Back, you know, growing up, Wayne was a little bit older than me, and so he tended to hang out with my sisters, you know, because they're much older than me. He hung out with the older ones of the family. And believe it or not, I'm the baby on Dad's side. It looks like I ate all their food, but especially when it came to Wayne. Yeah. Such a little fella, but pretty big man, you know. Growing up, I didn't really get to know him a whole lot until back a few years ago. We started working together, and I got to know him. Be honest with you, I absolutely fell in love with him. He became my brother, John.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. He became my brother. Seemed like every little thing, every little problem, you know, I come across, it was a mountain to me, and he would say, well, let me see it. About 2 minutes, he'd fix it. He was good like that. He did like to tinker. It didn't matter if he found a nut or a bolt, you know, if it was out laying on the ground or something, or if it was a marble, he'd stick it in his pocket. He had something to do with it, you know. It was going to fix something, or he's going to come up with something, you know. And I was thinking about, you know, certain situations would arise on the job, and I talk to him all the time. Wayne, what are we going to do? What do you think? What's your opinion? If he didn't have an answer, he'd say, I don't know, let me think about it. And he'd go home, he'd call me up, or the next day he'd say, I talked to Dad. Or I went and researched this, and here's what they said. I couldn't tell you how many times he said that. A lot of times that's exactly how we did it. He was, he kind of become my right-hand man. And, he had a few things, a few struggles that that hindered him a lot of times, And as I get older, I find out that I think a lot of us have struggles. We have issues that hinder us, keep us from doing exactly what we ought to do. And but I called him up, and he went to rehab. He told me, he said, Joe, he said, I want to go. That's exactly where I want to go. And he said, I want to get help. And that's what he set out to do. And I called him up in January. I'd had a dream about him. I'd actually had a dream about him the night before. And I've been missing him something awful. And I called him up. And he called me, That's the way it worked. I sent a message. I wanted him to call me. So he called me. And he told me, he said, Joe, he said, I'm a different man. He said, I'm a different man. And he said, back in October, he said, I got baptized. And when my wife was there, I kind of started to cry a little bit, because I love you. Yeah. And I've been praying God to change him, help him, and he came on, and we just began to talk. Man, best I'd ever seen. Best I'd ever seen. Best he looked, best he talked. I mean, it was just something absolutely wonderful. And then he started going to church with me on Sundays. And I can see him now. Just driving to church, seeing him there in the back seat. He's so quiet, Getting careful, you wouldn't notice he was there, But, man, it was my brother. And he was going to church. And just pleased my heart so much. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and because I'll be honest with you, if I've ever asked God why, my goodness, I've done it multiple times in the past few days. I've asked him why over and over and over again. But there's scripture, part of a scripture that has stuck with me. Part of a scripture that has stuck with me these past few days. It just kind of come to my heart, and I looked it up, and it's Psalm 136. I just started reading it, and I won't read all of it because I think out of about 10 verses, I think you'll get the point. It says the author is anonymous, but a lot of people think that David actually wrote this song. But Psalm 136, starting verse 1, says, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Oh, give thanks unto the God of gods, for his mercy endureth forever. Oh, give thanks to the Lord of lords, for his mercy endureth forever. To him who alone doeth great wonders, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that by wisdom made the heavens, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that stretched out the earth above the waters, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that made great lights, for his mercy endureth forever. The sun to rule by day, for his mercy endureth forever. The moon and stars to rule by night, for his mercy endureth forever. And it don't stop there. David wrote this. It's believed that David wrote this for the priests to sing to the Levites. And I just that for his mercy endureth forever. There's always questions. There's always in this world. There's always pain. There's always hurt. But just that, oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, and his mercy endureth forever. For y'all that grew up in Sunday school or went to church, you all understand, y'all know, but if you didn't go to church, if you knew who David was, kind of surprising. You know, David's always elevated as a saint, he's a hero of the faith. But when you research David's life, you find out that there's some rough stuff there. I mean, committed adultery with Bathsheba, had her husband killed, Uriah, sent him to the front of the line. And all of that, you read about David, I mean, it kind of shock you. But then later on, you'll find out where God said, where the scripture says that David was the apple of God's eye. Said he was a man after God's own heart. Just absolutely, I mean, it's like daylight and dark. You just kind of, it kind of shocks you to see that once you know the whole life story. And just talking to Wayne a few months ago, and I've shared this with a few, and just a couple of weeks ago, he said, "Joe, I'm a changed man. I'm a different man." He said, "I want to make right with my kids. I want to make right by my kids." Said, "I want to spend some time with them. I want to go be with them, my grandbabies." Said, "I want to be with them." And I just, that is, man, I just keep hearing that conversation, those conversations. We spoke a lot these past few weeks, and it just encouraged me a lot. But then I also read in how, I think it's was it Job? Or maybe it's probably, I can't remember, but how the scripture speaks of how life is but vapor. Soon it's gone, you know. It's, man, life can be so short sometimes. And we don't always get to accomplish everything we want to. But then I went back to David, and you'll find where David wanted to build a temple. He wanted to build a temple for God. And God told him, "I love you, but you can't do it." But he said, "I'm going to let your son do it." Call it Solomon's temple, you know. And just such a beautiful thing. And I just thought how his life To me, it's short. 46 is short, John.
It's short.
It's short.
Yep.
But, I mean, he's got some kids, some wonderful kids, and some wonderful grandbabies. And, you know, he may not have got to finish it. You know, he may have not have got to do what he wanted to, but this next generation, it doesn't mean that they can't. You know, he was getting his life in the right direction, and I wish I would have recorded it. Man, I want to send it out to every one of y'all. Just wonderful conversations. Man, I think it's, especially in a time like today, we have got to love a little more. You got your babies, you need to, every chance you get, grab a hold of them, hug them, love them. You never know. Man, you never know. But I'm very, very grateful. I don't want to be too heavy or anything like that. God knows I can't much take it. But I wanted to share my last laugh with you that I had. We were driving down the road the other day, headed to a job, and I'm not sure why it was brought up. Maybe it might have been his arm may have been hurting him or something, and I started to mention a little bit about it, and then he told me the story again, and he was at Amber's, staying there at Amber's, and coming out of 3 Links on that moped, Johnny, and he was riding down through there, and I knew where he was headed because I've already heard this story, and I laugh every time I hear it. But he said he was riding that moped. It was probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, just edge of, or just it's still dark, you know, fixing to turn daylight. But you know, down there, there's nothing hardly down through that stretch, and you don't pass anybody or anything. But he's riding that moped down there, headed to work, and dog ran out in front of him, and he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it, and it threw him. I think he hit the ditch. Dog hit the ditch, and I was just picturing that, and I started to laugh a little bit. And he said, "Man, I didn't realize how bad it was until I tried to pick myself up." And he said he could feel the bones kind of cracking and stuff, and he just took him a while, but they wasn't nobody coming through, so he had to do something. He said finally he got up enough, he was able to pull that moped up, and he said the handlebars were bent and warped, and he said he'd almost kind of pass out a little bit every now and then, and I'm sitting there laughing at him. And I had to stop. I said, "Wayne, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be laughing right now." He said, "Well, it's funny now." You know? He said, "It's funny now." It's funny now. He had a big heart. Had a big heart. I'm just grateful. Very grateful. Anyways, I think I don't need to say no more. I love the fella. I'm sure gonna miss him. So, Beth, you.
We're glad with the Lord today. Sorry for the family. These boys, I've not been going a whole long time, but it seemed like these boys, we got close to them. Joe, we love these boys, and I love this family. And I just want to read this little scripture here, and I'll let the service continue on. But I thought, nobody wants to do this, Josh, but this day come for everybody. And but even though things happen, John, and we don't know how to handle it and don't know what to do about it, God watches over his children, Johnny. And I'd like to read this for these boys today, and for Chrissy May and their daddy, and just each one of the family and Wayne's children. There's times that Mom and Dad may not be there to help me and you. But there's somebody that watches over us, Johnny Lamb. And